We've got some exciting news for all you Marvel maniacs out there.
That's right. We're inviting you to join our exclusive Marvel Movie Minute membership program.
For just $5 a month or $55 a year, you'll gain access to a world of marvelous perks that will make you feel like you've been hit with a dose of super soldier serum.
As a member, not only will you get bad puns like that, you'll also get your own private podcast feed delivering early, ad-free episodes straight to your ears faster than Thor's hammer flying back to his hand.
And members also get access to periodic bonus episodes exclusively for our most dedicated fans. Consider it your own personal Jarvis for Marvel movie content.
Plus, you'll gain entry to our exclusive Discord community, where you can chat with other Marvel fanatics just like you. It's like you're assembling your very own team of Avengers.
Most importantly, by becoming a member, you'll be directly contributing to the show you love and helping us keep Marvel Movie Minute running strong. We value your support more than all the vibranium in Wakanda.
We can't thank you enough for being part of our journey through the MCU. You're the Pepper Potts to our Tony Stark, always there by our side.
You're the arc reactor to our Iron Man suit, the Heimdall to our Thor, the horny jokes to our Deadpool.
The gamma radiation to our Bruce Banner.
Well, maybe not that one.
I'm sorry.
So what are you waiting for? Don't be like Hawkeye, always getting left out of the action.
Head over to truestory.fm/join and become a member today.
Join us, and together we'll explore the Marvel Cinematic Universe like never before.
Step up to the streets and become the hero of your own story.
Excelsior, true believers. With your support, we'll make this membership program a smash hit. Before we dive in, here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts.
Hey, psst. Hey, you see that Snickers over there? If no one's looking, you should just take it.
No! Don't listen to him, my son. That would be stealing, and stealing is a sin.
Sin Schmin, it's a friggin' Snickers bar. You deserve to have it. Sinning really satisfies you.
Repent, my child. Virtue is the only real snack worth savoring. For that candy bar is merely a gateway to nougat damnation.
Has this ever happened to you?
Listening to the devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other, and you're not sure what to think?
Then we're here to help. I'm Pete Wright.
And I'm Tommy Metz III, and this season on All the Feelings, we're examining the 7 deadly sins.
You know, the fun ones.
And the 7 heavenly virtues.
Which are also a thing. Through personal stories, historical oddities, and way too much embarrassment, we take you on a thrilling journey through all the goods and the bads you hear about in church.
But without all that pesky church stuff. So come join us for All the Feelings Season 9, a sometimes funny podcast about being human. All the sins, all the virtues.
All in one place. Go to allthefeelings.fun to learn more, or subscribe to All the Feelings wherever you get your podcasts.
Game over.
Do you like movies?
Do you like sports?
I never played that sport on the screen, but I really enjoyed how the movie made me feel.
Well then, have we got a show for you. The Adrian Moment is where my friend Ocean and I discuss the triangulation of sports, movies, and life.
We dive deep into the movies, discussing how they relate to and have affected our lives.
We will talk about why the sport matters to the movie, why you don't have to love the sport to enjoy the movie, and mine a few nuggets of meaning inside the story you may not have realized was really there.
After listening to our show, come join us for more conversations about the movies that portray the thrill of victory
and the agony of defeat.
Find the Adrian Moment podcast on your favorite podcast app and join us while we cover the sports you love and the ones you never think about.
You will never see sports or sport movies the same again.
Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a weekly podcast in which we disassemble a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 5-minute segments and then examine them in obsessive and occasionally hilarious detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Storywell podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco. And Kyle.
Just Rob.
Did you know that I have a top 5 list of the coolest villain weapons of all time?
Ooh, okay. And who determined that these were the
I did. This is me.
Okay.
This is
your list.
my list.
Okay. So this isn't like Collider's list.
No.
This is Rob's list.
Well, I mean, no, this is my list. This is actually my list.
Okay.
So
right.
number 1. No, actually, I'm going to start with number 1 because
number 1.
I'm going to end with number 5.
Okay.
Number 1 it's Darth Vader's lightsaber. Because when the first time I saw that, 5 years old, 77, yeah, you're blown away. That's like the coolest villain weapon of all time. Number 2, a little more recent, Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, amazing. Totally amazing. I have many of those around, as we know. Number 3, Cobra's Hiss Tank.
Oh, classic design.
Classic design. For those of you saying, hey, Rob, it's not Cobra's, it's Mars Industries. Yes, I know. I did
have the Cobra logo on it.
It has the Cobra logo on it, but you can look a panel underneath it. Yeah. And yes, I did have to look up that Mars stands for Military Armaments Research Syndicate. I didn't actually know that. Number 4 is the Predator's Smart Disc.
Ooh, interesting.
Love that. The whole with the hand, the holes to put your fingers in, and yep, it's just amazing. And number 5 is Evil Dr. Porkchop's Death by Monkeys. And if you're saying to yourself, Rob, seriously, 6 was Odd Job's bowler hat, but that was problematic. So, okay, if you're saying to yourself, but what does this have to do with anything? Yeah, let me tell you. The Barrel of Monkeys game was created in 1961 by Leonard Marks and Milton Dinhofer. Lakeside Toys released the game in 1965. The original prototype was called Chimp to Chimp. Thank God they went with Barrel of Monkeys because nobody wants that. The game was also produced by Milton Bradley Company and currently is still being produced by Hasbro. Players try to create a chain of monkeys by hooking their arms together. The goal is to create the longest chain possible without dropping a monkey. Lakeside Toys, I did not know this. Now I have to go on eBay. They released a giant Barrel of Monkeys version with 5-inch tall monkeys.
Whoa.
I have to get that.
Those are some big monkeys.
That's a long train of monkeys. But what does it have to do with today's episode? We're about to get into it.
That's right. We're all going to hang together here as we get into minute 96 of Iron Man 3 from 2013, directed by Shane Black, written by Shane Black and Drew Pearce. Yes, we have gotten to the point where Savin has blown out the back door of Air Force One, and a bunch of people have gone flying out, and now Iron Man has to save them.
Also, Savin's back has been blown out the back door. that guy's also dead. But anyway,
the guy's super dead. That dude, he's super dead. But hopefully these people will not be. So they come shooting out of the back of this, and then Iron Man flies out to find out what it is, and then scans the area, and he says to Jarvis, "How many in the air?" And Jarvis says, 13, sir. So an unlucky 13 have fallen out there. And then Tony says, "How many can I carry?" And Jarvis says, 4, sir.
Okay. That's a problem.
Yes.
Also, are we concerned? 13. And we'll see the plane blow up.
Yeah.
Air Force One has a passenger capacity of 102 and a crew of 26. So a lot of people died on Air Force One.
A lot of people died that day. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. As he leaps out then to go to flies out afterwards, then we see, sort of looking up, we see Air Force One explodes. So anybody who Savin had not killed already on board is way dead.
Yeah, they're gone.
But we have these 13 people that are plummeting down. So this is then the beginning of what they call the Barrel of Monkeys scene. I say, just before we get into this thing, this is pretty freaking cool. Like I know they set up the situation of how can we do this stuff, but the fact they actually did this is wild to me. I mean, in the world of full CGI stuff, they actually got people out there in these things and actually did this stunt for real. All this footage you're seeing is real. They changed some of the backgrounds, and they didn't actually do it over Miami and stuff too. So you can see all the plates are sort of different, but all those people are actually in the air being shot by this. It's really phenomenal. And there's an entire team that went and did this, but it's pretty impressive. So then the question then becomes you're Iron Man, you're fast, you're strong, you have repulsors in your hand. People are falling. You can only get one. What do you do? And so then they come up with a plan. And so Tony then flies down. So he flies down and he finds the first person, and her name is Heather. So Heather is one of the it looks like a stewardess, I think. You can say flight attendant. Yeah, that's right. It's time. This is Sarah Farquhar. She is one of the stunt performers on this. So she is the first person that he grabs. Okay, so then Tony says, listen to me, see that guy? I'm going to swing by. You're going to grab him. You got it? And Heather's like, what? He says, I'll electrify your arm. You won't be able to open your hand. We can do this, Heather. See? And then he swoops down, grabs her. She grabs the next person, and he says, 11 more to go. So that's when we have, and he officially says, remember that game called Barrel of Monkeys? That's what we're going to do. As we talked about at the beginning, is a game where all the monkeys have their arms sort of in how to open loops. The idea is to try and scoop them up. And like you said, it was created by Milton Bradley, but now is done by Hasbro. Till all are one.
Did Hasbro did they have to pay a royalty to actually say the name of the game?
I believe they did, because I think in the end of the credits they actually have it like Barrel of Monkeys copyright, Hasbro Incorporated or whatever it is. So the idea is he's electrifying them so that it's not about them being able to grab and hold. As soon as they get him, it sort of completes the circuit. And then sort of gets it so they're all connected in together. And then it just is a matter of going from person to person and then having that person grab them and sort of almost making wings of this to have them all connected together. Now they did not have somebody in an Iron Man suit doing this. That was like a regular performer. But then they CGI'd on top of it. But all the people who are flying through the air actually doing this. So Jarvis says 18,000 feet. Tony says, come on, people, everybody grab your monkey. So as it's getting lower, grabbing people 10,000, 6,000. And he's grabbing people 1,000 feet, 400, 200. And then there's one guy that he has trouble grabbing onto, can't get him. And Tony says, he's a chunky monkey. Let's get him.
Hey. It's true, though. It is actually accurate.
Yeah. There's one guy that they're having trouble getting into it. And then as they come down, then they get into sort of like a sort of like wings coming out the side, and they're all connect to each other. And then he manages to slow all of them down. And then one by one, they hit the water and then go down. And and Tyler's the music hits, and it's a really cool, like, heroic moment. Like this is the thing that they talk about a lot with the whole superheroes, just big guy punching each other. Like this is a whole sequence of just him saving a dozen people.
Right.
And they take, this is like the almost like the big stunt of the movie. Like this is, we're going to see, the House Party Protocol is coming, but like this is just a hero saving people, which is like what it was like superheroes. This is what they're built for.
Oh, totally. Do we have the actor who, as he goes for the chunky monkey, there's a close up of his face. Do we have the actor for that?
I don't know who they all are, because the problem is they're all credited as skydiving team.
Yeah. Got it.
So the names of all those people are Sarah Farquhar, Jim Wallace, Stephanie Soria, Jeffrey Provenzano, Mickey Nuttall, Roberta Mencino, Sean McCormack, Sally Hathaway, Taz and Stan Gray, Travis Feinhag, Andy and Jesse Farrington, John DeVore, Miles Dashier, and Clint Clausen. Those are the actual performers who are doing this. But the other thing you have to remember is, while they're doing that, there's another group that's filming them do that.
Oh, yeah.
So I always think that is like when you see like the Tom Cruise like jumping out at Mission Impossible thing, there's somebody who's doing that backwards.
Yes.
And so that's Jeff Haberstand and Craig O'Brien. Those are the camera operators who you never see, but are also fully jumping out of a plane and trying to get those angles and swooping in and getting close and doing so. That when you watch it, superheroics and Iron Man and being cool, but then watch it again and think about the fact that someone is with a camera flying in. Like there's no telephoto here. Like they have to fly themselves in close to these people to get the grabs, to get the holds, to get the facial expressions. It's pretty incredible.
Wait a minute. Okay, first of all, bravo, everybody. This is one of the great things of doing a podcast like this is we give kudos to all of these amazing people who participate in the creation of this. But let me say something. I have been in high stress production moments, you have as well, where we have to multitask. Let me tell you something. I don't want to multitask falling out of an airplane, making sure that I'm going to land safely while I'm trying to get the perfect shots so we don't have to do this again.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the idea that if you don't get the shot or you don't get it right or you don't get in focus, you're going to have to, first of all, not die. Like you have to fully shoot, land on the ground, get back in a plane, fly the plane back up, and then jump out of the plane and do it again.
Can you imagine being the guy, like you guys all land, like how'd it go? I didn't get the shot. Okay.
Turns out I had the wrong battery pack. Like,
oh my God, man. Like everybody dry up, new clothes. Right. Let's go back. Right. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because it landed in water.
Oh my God. Okay. So we're going to play. Well, I'm going to play a little game here.
Okay.
We're going to do Saving the 13 Tail of the Tape. Could it happen?
Oh, okay.
You're listening because you want us to now analyze this whole scene.
Sure. The idea is that as they're all falling, he can't just grab them and land.
Right.
So he has them all and then has to slow the descent enough so that when they hit the water, it's not like hitting concrete. It's, you can sort of just dive into the ground, because if you go straight from a plane into the water, you die. So would this work?
Our good friends at Popular Mechanics, in an article from May of 2013, they did all the work.
Wow, they did the math.
It's amazing. So I've kind of based it on this. So go ahead and Google that. If you really are interested in this stuff, check it out. So we're going to take these things one by one. Let's start off at the beginning. We're going to go through each one. Is it accurate or non-accurate? Then we'll tally it up. So Air Force One appears to be cruising at typical cruising altitude, about 35,000 feet, which is about 6 miles above sea level. Passengers exiting the plane at that height would reach the Earth in about 3 minutes. Okay. That's accurate. This sequence is just roughly about 2 minutes. It's a little compressed, but it's not completely crazy. It's not totally off the mark. It actually could happen within this time. However, passengers at that height would face extreme cold and lack of oxygen, and they would black out within seconds, and they probably wouldn't regain consciousness until they got around to the 20,000 foot mark. So Tony's immediate conversation with Heather is not accurate. would not happen immediately.
That's true. The first number that Jarvis calls out is 18,000 feet, though.
Yeah, but I don't think the plane was at that. So
but when they first start grabbing people, so it could have been under that line.
It's and maybe if they're trickery with timelines. Okay, we got that. Exactly. All right. Well, don't worry. Hold your beer.
Okay.
All right. So we've got that now. Many of the females in this scene, their high heel shoes stay on and their skirts stay in place. Now, we all understand why, and I understand that.
Sure.
That would not happen. It's not accurate, but we'll go figure that. Okay. People fall faster based on their body positions, density of the air, and their body sizes. When you watch this scene, people are passing by each other at varying rates. That is actually completely accurate. Way to go. Excellently done. Passengers would be moving at about 32 feet per second. Terminal velocity, which is the speed at which drag stops acceleration, is reached in about 12 seconds. So for an average weight 6 foot human, terminal velocity tops out at about 120 miles an hour. If you're going head first, it might be 200 miles an hour, which would be like riding a motorcycle at 120 miles an hour without a helmet. You would not be able to see, talk, or hear anything. So let's just say none of the conversations that are happening in this sequence are accurate. We could assume that the high-tech suit has speakers and everything else, but none of that's happening. So that's okay. That's fine. Now, electrifying. So electrifying Heather's arm at the beginning to prevent her from opening her hand. Possible. But doing this could be violent, unpredictable, potentially triggering cardiac arrest, burns, or organ damage. Plus, and I found this to be incredibly interesting, women have a lower let-go threshold than men. So he would have to precisely control the flow of electricity through each one of the 13 attached bodies for this to work.
And we know Jarvis is operating at the height of his capacities.
He's good, but that's not going to happen. The only way, and I actually thought of this, I'm like, how could this happen? Like, if you could get to like endgame Iron Man technology with nanotechnology, he could have pieces of the suit go to each one of the connection points.
Yeah, true.
And then he actually could do it. It wouldn't work in this one. Okay, so that's fine. All right, so Jarvis announces that the group is 200 feet above sea level when Tony grabs the 13th passenger. Without deceleration, that means that they would have hit the water in less than a second. So they play around with that. Not accurate. Could a giant daisy chain of humans withstand accelerated G-forces as Tony fires his thrusters above the water? Human bones likely would not withstand the impact, and things would not be great. It's not accurate. So let me do some calculations, see if this could happen. Okay. And the answer is nobody cares because the scene rocks. And I gotta tell you, said it. I mean, it doesn't matter. In fact, the guy who wrote the Popular Mechanics article, I believe it's about. He even says, he goes, listen, I'm about to debunk this all for you, but it doesn't matter because this scene is so exciting, so much adrenaline. It is absolutely a comic book excitement personified. It is so amazing. You are rooting for everyone. You're rooting for Tony. Yeah. It's one of those cool things that at the end when he drops everyone in the water and they're all going, yes! And the music, like you said, the Brian Tyler theme kicks in. It is just such a great moment. If you want to see the opposite of this in a movie, there's a movie called Superman Returns. And it involves a plane too. It does. It doesn't end like this one. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is awesome. It's a great scene.
Superman Returns. Yeah. This may be one of the most heroic moments in all of the Iron Man movies. Like, yes, I mean, Tony's, obviously not done at the end of Iron Man 3. Spoiler, right. He lives. So he does a lot of stuff afterwards. But like in thinking about Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and this is maybe the most heroic thing he's done. Like he does fly over, right. and in Iron Man 1 and saves a bunch of people, and that's it too. But like this is pretty like top tier heroic levels of Marvel heroism.
It does. I mean, I will still say the Iron Man 2 racetrack scene is still my favorite Iron Man single sequence. But in terms of saving people, yes, this is fantastic.
Yeah. So as he then is as the Iron Man theme swells and he's looking back and we're sort of like, I can't believe he did it. Tony is floating there saying, "Nice work, guys! Excellent, good team effort all around. Go us!" And everyone's in the water like, "Yeah, thank you." And maybe with broken limbs, we don't really know. He says, "All right, Jarvis, but it's only half done. We still got to get Pepper." But before we move on from that, in minute 98, we need to stop for a second and I need to tell you a little story. This is a story of a guy named Al. So Theodore Alfred Peterman was born in March of 1893. He grew up in Washington State, and like many men of his time, he became a lumberjack. Hauling lumber is a dangerous business, and many trucks would crash trying to make simple turns, damaging the trucks and sometimes hurting the men. Al saw this problem, and he knew he could fix it. He developed a trailer with rollers that allowed the logs to shift during transport. This proved to be a huge success. He took the money he earned and decided to make his own trucks. In 1939, he had acquired the Fagel Truck Coach Company of Oakland, California for $50,000 and started making his very own trucks. He marked them with a new logo to show that he, Al Peterman, had helped build this truck, that it was Peterbilt. So Al is long gone, but his company is still putting out quality big rigs, just like the Peterbilt 379, part of a line of Class 8 trucks that was produced from 87 to 2007. It's perfect for long-haul trucking and robot suit smashing, as one of these violently collides with Mark 42 armor on the Miami highway and shatters it into all its individual pieces.
I really had no idea where that was going for about the first 20 seconds. And then I caught on and I was like, okay, that's pretty great. I forgot when this happens. I will say, okay, I can't believe I'm going to say it. I'm much happier with this movie the second time around, because I forgot how that scene is it is a jump scare. Like, yes. I mean, it's the equivalent of a jump scare where you just go, oh my God. Like, yeah. and even seeing it, even though you know what happens, right? You immediately go, oh, he can't survive that. Yeah. Like he can't, oh no, he got Django Fetted. Like there's his head, like rolling on the, like that's done. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, it's really, I mean, it's a really great like end of the scene to almost like,
It's the tension release. That's sort of why I look at it. It hits because like you just got all this big, oh my god, heroic, he saved the people, and then it's just like all the pieces fall off. You know, it's like the you raise them up and then you knock them down. The thing is like and then like they cut back to him like with Tony's face like ugh, and then you see that he's wearing the helmet control, which we saw in the very first scene, like in Iron Man 3, like when he was in the lab the first time. The same way he was controlling the suit when Pepper came home, like we found out, oh yeah, that's right, they did set that up earlier on, so he's been controlling it the whole time. So on the one hand, yes, it's a good sort of like like a surprise thing at the end, sort of a little coda at the end of this amazing scene. On the other hand, is it worth all of this just for a gag? Because that means that if you go back, the whole thing with him fighting Savin, he's not in that suit.
He's not in the suit. Yeah.
So the whole thing of like Savin grabbing his arm and heating it up and him like wincing, he's not in there.
Well, wait, also, we just talked about how great it is, how heroic saving 13 people in midair is. It wasn't him.
Yeah. I mean, he was controlling it. So, but
I know. But
the whole thing of him up there like fighting Savin and doing all this stuff on the plate, he wasn't there. He was in the boat the whole time.
The risk level, the risk level's different. I mean, this is clearly, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So
is it worth it? So wait, is the answer, is it
worth it for the thing? I don't know. I mean, like I'm sort of divided on it. Like it's like, okay, you got us. But I don't know. I mean, like why couldn't he be in the suit the whole time?
Because what would have happened then? He would have just flown off and then they would have
landed back on the boat.
And then he would have cut then all he would have said is he would have radioed into Rhodey, and Rhodey's like, what are we going to do now? And he could have just said, house party protocol.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. So I guess
wow.
This is more just the trying to have Tony, not like he has one suit at this point, and then now they're taking the one suit away. So now he has to fight AIM and Killian and save Pepper with nothing.
So is this though a really hitting you over the head with, no pun intended, not with a Peterbilt. Is this really hitting you over the head for what is about to happen?
I guess so.
That there will be all these suits and they will be all operating.
Right.
But I mean, okay, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. Is that nitpicky? I don't know. But like, it was one of those things where like when it happened and I sort of replaying, having watched this and then going back and watching all the fight scene on the Air Force One, I was like, oh yeah, he's not there. Like he's not really in any danger at all. Like everyone else is in danger. Tony's fine. Right. I mean, Savin could have blown up Air Force One with him on it and Tony would have been fine. And it was like, oh, yeah. Okay. Like, also, how did he know? How do you know to not be in the suit and go fight? I mean, like, why is he piloting it this way?
Because he can.
Because he can, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
Dude, but, man.
I don't know. I mean, it's.
Oh, now I don't feel as cool about this.
No, I'm not taking away anything from the what he did. Like he was heroic and did all the things and saved as many people as he could and did all that stuff. It's just.
As I watch this and we're talking about it, I think it really is. I think they felt the need to say, hey, if we're going to have all these suits show up, it's got to be reminded to everybody after everything we've been through that this is a thing, that this can happen.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the plot device is. Can I tell you, we talk about scene geography a lot. The scene that this immediately goes to, which is the Malibu estate, the ruins of it. Do you know how much? Because he has the conversation with Rhodey.
Yeah.
And he checks with Jarvis to say, hey, house party protocol, how's it going? And what does he say? He says basically,
he gets hit by the truck and it explodes. That came out of nowhere. And we see now he pulls off the headset and then Rhodey is there. He says, give me some good news, man. Tony says, I think they all made it.
Got it.
Rhodey says, oh, thank God. Tony says, yeah, but I missed the president. Rhodey says, you couldn't save the president with the suit. How are we going to save Pepper with nothing? Which is also ADR'd, which is interesting. So that was like something they thought needed to be said off because he says it off camera. And Tony says, hey, say, Jarvis, is it that time? And Jarvis says, the house party protocol, sir? Tony says correct. And that's where then we cut from there. In mid-99, we go to the villains.
I just got to tell you, though, that there's a little sequence here where they show the Malibu estate, the ruins.
Mm-hmm. The people are still sort through all the wreckage.
I love how the wide shot and the close-up shot of the debris and the recovery operation, it completely matches. Look at the little CGI being done in the wide shot as it goes in. I love the fact that it matches. Like there was total detail put in on that. I love that shot. And then as we go in, the one construction guy looks down as the lower levels of the estate open up, and
that's sort of that iris effect that we saw. That was what Tony the suit was standing on back when he was talking to Happy back in the time in the wine cellar and stuff too. As it was lowering down, this is that same elevator or whatever opening up to see all of when as he was storing the suit last time, and now we're seeing he's activating his arsenal. And I love this. This scene is done really well. We used to talk about these types of sort of dives, like these slows rolls into darkness. Incredible Hulk. I think we talked about this. This one is really well done. As the camera pivots down, you see the arc reactor lights lighting up, and then it pivots the direction, and now you see, oh, you're one of the suits, and you're popping out. It's a wonderful little segue to getting us prepared for the final act of the movie. And then we got to step into darkness because we see then back in the villain's lair, we have Pepper has been and they're being injected with another dose, I guess, of the extremis treatment. She's still strapped to the gurney and had all the metal clamps on her, and so that she wakes up and sees Killian there, and he says, "Hi." I gotta say, all the stuff, Guy Pearce is maybe the creepiest here. Oh, this scene, he's like really like amping up the just like gross energy. Well, the fact that he put her on the operating board with yoga pants and a sport bra. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, exactly. Like it's sort of like, why this is not what she was wearing in the hotel. So like, not cool, dude. What's going on here? So, but this is the sense it's weird. It almost seems like she's surprised to see him, even though he's the one that kidnapped her. So I don't know what that's about. Pepper says, "You think he's going to help you? He won't." And Killian says, "Having you here is not just to motivate Tony Stark. It's it's actually more embarrassing that you're here as my Then Pepper gives a long look and says, "Trophy." And then he does this creepy, like kind of like, chuckle, looks at her like, like, whoa. Yeah, so gross. Yeah, now, like, by the way, though, doing a good job of making him a bad guy. He's doing. Guy Pearce here is rocking. Like, this is exactly what the way the character wants to be. Yeah. So he then, as he's standing there, then all of a sudden, hey, help has arrived. Iron Patriot's here. Oh, wait. And so Iron Patriot lands and steps in and says, Killian says, "Good evening, sir." And the armor opens up and the president falls out. He says, "Welcome aboard, Mr. President." And then we do a little establishing shot. So then we like pass out the door and we see that there have made a basically Christmas tree out of lights, and we are on a shipping dock. And so this is you can see originally in the first draft of the screenplay, this was going to be on an oil derrick. So this was the whole thing was going to take place out at sea, and there's going to be a big fight there too. But then as they sort of realized that there would be no land at all, it was going to be much harder, the geography. And then like, how do you get there and how do you get back? And so it became, then they were trying to find something else. So they did a lot of location scouting. And then while they were in, like North Carolina, they sort of found this area and went, "Oh, this is nice. A bunch of metal and pieces, and it still has that like industrial feel, but it's not quite as far out that you have to worry about travel." So then this is what they established. So this is where our Act 3 is going to take place. So we cut to Killian giving, I guess, a walking tour. Yeah. He says, "Ever hear of an elephant graveyard? Well, 2 years ago, the elephant in the room was this scow." And so we see a ship is there that has been moored off to the side. And the president says, "This is the Roxxon Norco," which is, this is not something any of us has ever heard before, but they all seem to know who it is. Killian says, and of course, you'll remember that when she spilled 1 million gallons of crude oil off Pensacola, thanks to you, not one fat cat saw a day in court. So this is obviously the Marvel version of the Exxon Valdez. Yes, exactly. For those of you who don't remember, in the 90s, had a similar incident. And then once again, played a big role in a movie called Waterworld. That's right. Because that ship showed up again, just like this one does too. So he found this ship, like it hadn't sank, obviously, the Norco.
Yeah.
So they had recovered it from after having damage. And so he got, it's all PR. I'm just like, what is the logistics of him stealing?
Well, it may not have sank. It just obviously did a spill. No, it's the theater. I mean, like, and he says that. Can I say one thing I find interesting about the way Killian is written for?
Yeah.
When he says the elephant in the room was this scow, I'm not going to lie, had to look scow up because I've never heard that term before.
Yeah.
He does this throughout the movie. He is so always trying to overcompensate for his previous life. And I find that to be a fun little detail. Like, he could have just said tanker, and everyone would have known that was. I guarantee everybody in the theater is listening to this and going, "Scow? What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" That is actually what those are. That's what a flat bottom boat with a broad square ends is actually called. But like, who says that? And of course, Killian does.
What I also like is that it seems like he's politically motivated here, like he's charging himself up.
Oh yeah,
like not one fat cat saw a day in court. And the president says, "What do you want from me?" And then he immediately just shifts. Like it's like this is Guy Pearce is doing such a good job in this thing of like he just automatically just entirely switches his energy, and he's like, "Oh, nothing." He's like, "I just needed a reason to kill you that would play well on TV."
There we go.
You see, I moved on. I found myself a new political patron, and this time tomorrow he'll have your job. He says, "String him up." So yeah, this is the thing is he's now setting it up so like to say the Mandarin is then going to be taking revenge, and then we saw a little bit of that speech that never gets delivered because at this point Killian doesn't know. He doesn't know where Trevor is at this point, but I don't think he's thinking about that. I think he's that is under control. But that's another question of like, what does he know? What doesn't he know? Does he know already what's happened with Air Force? Because this is later. I mean, they're all in Miami, so this is a couple hours later, still on Christmas Eve. So he has to know that Air Force One was blown up.
Right.
And Savin didn't come home.
Right.
So so he's got to imagine that Tony's out there, but then how is he going to do this without having Trevor? Because Trevor has to deliver the speech about like, this president is not one fat cat saw a day in court. Like you said, that was probably a line.
Oh, that's yeah.
It's the question of like, what does he know? What does he know? And obviously adding Trevor into this, what's going to be a very chaotic couple of minutes would not really help that. But yeah, it just makes you wonder. And then as we move away from there, we see that Tony and Rhodey have made their way to this dock and are now sneaking up. And as they're sort of sneaking their way onto the dock, that is where minute 100 comes to an end. That's the end of our episode here today. So
wow, I feel like that was a lot.
I know it's like one of the big special effects, and it's like as much as we talked about it, it feels like you could talk about for a couple hours about all the stuff they did and all the logistics of working this out and getting the clearances and how many times did they do the jump and all these things. You could spend an entire time talking about it, but
I love it.
It's just that this is when Marvel works because it's that amazing convergence of like classic hero, amazing special effects, incredibly talented stunt performers, the score, the visual effects. I mean, all of this working together in just this amazing, and even the editing. I mean, like everything is just like bang, bang, bang.
I don't know, man. 100 minutes in, I might be changing my tune. I think, I don't know. Okay. This is different than I remember. I'm very happy about this so far.
Well, there's the number that keeps coming up to me is 5, because for $5, you can become a member of the True Story FM family. However, if you don't have the $5, maybe you have 5 stars that you could share with us. If you go over to iTunes or Pocket Cast or wherever you get your podcast and give us a review, leave 5 stars. If you don't have the 5 stars to give, maybe you have 5 minutes to write a little review to say, I really love the Marvel Movie Minute. Eventually that stuff does get back to us. It also helps other people find the show. So,
hey, can I tell you something? A little side note. We have always enjoyed, we always love reading what people say about the show. We've had some incredible comments, and not just us, all the hosts.
Yeah, exactly.
The entire litany.
We're just the current stewards.
Yes, of the Marvel Movie Minute. So understand this. We hope that we bring a little bit of levity and a little bit of excitement and love for these movies to your world. But when you let your thoughts known, especially when they're good, you bring great joy to our world, and we appreciate that. So yes, please.
Yes, come join our barrel of monkeys over at truestory.fm/join. We will be back to talk about armors, and more armors. You do not want to miss it. Enough said.
Bye.